All right, dads, let's start with a simple question. If robots are going to become part of everyday life, will they work for us or for someone else? Because right now we're heading into a world where machines have their own identities, their own wallets, and in some cases, their own income. And that sounds wild, right? But it's happening.
Yeah, and my kids are grown, so they'd absolutely try to get a robot to pay their rent. Sean, your kids are younger, so you're safe for now.
Yeah. My 10-year-old will get the robot to do his homework, and my 9-year-old will Haley would do basically a makeover with the robot. But here's the twist, dads. Robots aren't the scary part. The real scary part is who owns the robots. Today, we're breaking down machine economy and why combinations of robotics and blockchain is either the best thing that's happened to communities or the biggest shift in power to corporations since the Industrial Revolution. This episode has fear, excitement, futuristic tech, and a story of how community-owned robots might be one of the biggest climate and economical opportunities of the next decade. All right, so let's start here. The fear is that robots take our jobs, right? That's everybody's number one fear.
That's actually,
Now,
I'm kind of hoping for that. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, it's true. I wouldn't mind having an army of robots that just don't talk back and obey. All right, we're starting to think like corporates here. But that's not actually the real threat. The real threat is robots owned by massive corporations doing work 24/7, and none of the value ever reaches ordinary people. This is where blockchain comes in. So, blockchain gives machines digital identity, can give it wallets, the ability to transact autonomously, a trustless coordination layer. So basically, like a drone can pay like for a charging station, a cleaning robot can hire a human. That's cool. A vertical farm can run itself and self-produce. A robot can provide a service and earn revenue. We are crossing from the internet of information to the internet of value into economy of things. Machines transacting with machines, that both sound scary and insanely empowering.
Yeah, and the way I see it, once machines can spend money, they're basically economic participants at that point. And if we don't create systems where communities own those machines, we're locked out. So this isn't about robots replacing humans, it's about robots becoming assets. And who owns them determines everything. Which brings us to a little real-world example here in the blockchain space. So let's jump into Hivemapper, because this is the perfect example of community versus corporations. Hivemapper is basically asking, what if regular people built the next Google Maps and got paid for it? Here's how it works. You buy a Bee dash cam, mount it in your car, and just drive. Taking school runs, work commutes, even those late night KFC missions you pretend didn't happen. The camera captures 4K road imagery, AI processes it on the edge, removes private details, and the data goes into a decentralized map. And you earn honey tokens for contributing. What I love is the freshness. Google updates some roads, once every 1 or 2 years. Hivemapper's community updates them daily. Taxi drivers, delivery drivers, dads dropping kids at sports, everyone contributes to the network.
And the thing that people don't realize is how valuable fresh map data is. Logistics, construction, city planning, autonomous vehicles, they need real-time information. A pothole yesterday, especially in our country, it's like potholes happening every day, all right, could be an accident today. So, to be made aware of it ahead of time can definitely save those tires. The drama is the David versus Goliath story. Can a community of normal drivers compete with a trillion-dollar giant like Google? And honestly, I think so, because Google can't scale as fast as millions of people every day.
But we also have to be honest. Token volatility, hardware cost, those are the real concerns. The story here isn't get rich driving, it's about community-owned infrastructure. The concept alone is revolutionary.
All right, Ryan, so let's jump into the next example, Natix, where no hardware is basically required. Now, if you have a dash cam that feels like too much effort, right? The Natix model is genius. So Natix turns your smartphone into like a mapping device. There's no hardware, no installation, just an app called Drive and then of course there's different types of apps that you can basically participate with. So you drive, your phone detects signs, traffic patterns through AI, and you earn Natix tokens. But here's the part that blows me right away: the video never leaves your device. The AI crunches all the data on your phone, then only extracts the metadata which gets sent. That's privacy first model big tech can't touch.
Yeah, and let's be honest, younger generations will adopt this instantly. It's gamified. Leaderboards, missions, it feels like a real life game. But the depth here is bigger. Natix is training future autonomous vehicles. When robots drive themselves, they need the world constantly mapped. And this is a story about lowering barriers. No hardware cost, more people participating, more access, and more decentralization.
Exactly, Ryan. It's mapping for the people, by the people, with the rewards flowing back into the network instead of Silicon Valley.
Yeah, absolutely. And now that we have the sense of sight covered, let's talk about hearing. Silencio rewards people for collecting noise data. And at first I thought, okay, cool, another app. But the deeper I looked, the more it clicked. Noise pollution is one of the most undermeasured environmental issues in cities. Think construction, traffic, sirens, loud neighborhoods, airports. Real estate companies want this data. City planners need it, and researchers crave it. But here's the robotics angle: robots need to hear. A robot crossing the street must know the difference between an ambulance siren, a reversing truck, a crowd shouting, and a jackhammer. Silencio isn't just an app, it's part of the sensory stack for autonomous machines.
Yeah, so what I love about the physical and how real this is, you're literally feeding audio intelligence into future robots. This is real world, tangible data that'll influence how machines move, navigate, and interact with humans. And again, it's community owned. All right, let's move on to another example, GEODNet, the GPS Robot Trust. So everyone knows about GPS, but what most people don't know is that your phone's GPS is only accurate 2 to 5 meters. For humans, that's fine. For robots, 5 meters is basically a disaster. For basically a delivery drone trying to drop off your Amazon parcel and drops it off in your neighbor's jacuzzi, and you have to go fetch it, and your neighbor's in a bikini. It's just problems. It's problems for the household. We want accuracy. All right, so enter GeoDNet. You basically install the space weather station on your roof. It captures satellite signals, detects atmospheric interference, and sends correction data that makes GPS accurate down to the centimeter. This is the backbone of drone deliveries, autonomous tractors, construction robots, automated forklifts, robotics in agriculture, and the people are earning GOD tokens for hosting these stations.
What I find fascinating is that real companies are already paying for this precision data. This isn't just hype, this is industrial grade infrastructure. And 80% of the data revenue goes to buying back and burning tokens. That's actual economic alignment between robots, humans, and the network. GeoDNet is invisible, but it might be the most important piece of the robot future. So now, another gear switch here. Let's talk about food, one of my favorite subjects. And Sean's favorite investment class.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Papa's got to eat. All right, guys. So, yes, you'll have basically robot driven vertical farms that we fully tokenized. Investors can own a tray. So, this is how people get involved. As you know, you're worried about your jobs being taken, but there's basically alternative opportunities happening, right? So, you as an investor can basically own a tray, right? And the robots maintain the crops, and AI optimizes the lighting, the nutrients, the harvesting, and you earn a cut of the sale of the greens. This is happening actually right now in Hong Kong. This is the boring robot revolution, not humanoid, but machines doing the repetitive, essential jobs 24/7. It's tangible, it's climate friendly, and it's real.
And this is where crypto shines. Not meme coins, not promises, real world assets, real yield, real food. This is something dads can understand. You invest, Robots grow food. You earn from lettuce. It's beautifully simple.
All right, so let's move into something that feels a little science fiction-y, but is absolutely real. So Coinbase created something called Agent Kit, which lets AI agents hold crypto wallets. What does this mean? All right, well, they can pay for services, they can execute transactions, subscribe to commute, buy data, hire humans, my favorite, through the platform called Payman AI.
Now, this flips the whole AI steals jobs narrative. Now, AI becomes the employer. Imagine a drone posting a job. Need a human to replace my broken rotor, paying 12 USDC. Humans doing microtasks for machines? That's the absolute reverse of the Turing test.
Yeah. And once the machines start spending money, they become their own economic entities. This will change everything.
All right, now everybody's favorite part about robots. We can't end this without the humanoid conversation.
Take me
Optimus.
to your leader.
Absolutely. That's all. All I want is I'm getting an Optimus robot because having a
I'll beat
robot
you
run
to
around,
it. I'll beat you to it.
it's going to be hilarious. I'm going to dress him up like you.
Well, listen, you've got the same hairstyle, so we're halfway
Right,
there.
exactly. Perfect. Anyway, Optimus, there's billions predicted. It's going to be cheaper than a car, according to Elon.
Yeah.
If robots do become workers, cleaners, assistants, drivers, packers, security, they'll need to pay for those resources autonomously, and they can't use credit cards. Blockchain is the only system built for machine-to-machine microtransactions.
And this is why ownership matters. Robots will become the assets, and those who own the machines will own the value they produce. The future is not robots replacing humans, it's communities owning robots and robots producing value for communities. Dads, the machine economy is here. Robots aren't the enemy, centralized ownership is.
Blockchain gives us a way to take part in this revolution instead of getting steamrolled by it.
So we have decentralized maps, decentralized sensors, decentralized farms, decentralized navigations, and decentralized machines. It's a new world, and ordinary people finally have a seat at the table.
Guys, if you enjoyed this episode, please leave a comment below. How do you feel about robots and the future? That's it from us. Thanks for watching. Stay curious, stay early, and keep building the future with us.
Check you later, guys. Ciao.
See you guys.
The material and information presented in this recording are for entertainment purposes only. Do not misconstrue what you hear as investment or trading advice. Always do your own research. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by the guests on this recording are their own and do not necessarily reflect those of Dad's Gone Crypto or its hosts.